Welcome back to online classes. Dear students, how are you? I am James here. Today I am going to discuss with legal research and methodology subject under the topic methods or techniques of legal studies. Methods or techniques of legal studies. Okay. Here methods denotes the various process by which we proceed to find out a solution or an inquiry. The method is also known as an approach. A method is the way of approaching a problem. The truth involved in a problem can be found only by following systematic steps. The type of steps to be applied depends largely on the object sought to be achieved and the nature of the study. Hence, every science has its methodology, so is the legal studies. Legal researchers have certain methods to find law from legal sources such as legislation, precedent, etc. Legislation, precedent, etc. You know very well what is the meaning of legislation. And also you know very well precedent because we studied jurisprudence subjects, okay, and etc. And have definite methods to find out authoritative decisions. They have also by experience devised methods to apply law into fact situations. Thus, by legal method we mean essential techniques of law study. Essential techniques of law studies. The judges of law courts and the people who give legal opinion to government must also know these law study techniques. Techniques are different from methods. Okay? Techniques are different from methods. Techniques are merely means and differ as per nature of the subjects. They are a way of collecting data. Most of these techniques are repetitive and routine and require mechanical skill on the part of researcher. Methods, on the other hand, relate to research as a whole from the beginning to end. A method stands independently and its nature remains the same throughout. Methods are always original, broader and superior to techniques. Only a method can decide whether a discipline is an art or a science. And another point of view in this session, a law is related to society. The techniques of social sciences are also applicable to the legal studies. Okay? In their project on juvenile delinquency, that means the below 18 years of the offenders, they are considered as juvenile delinquency. Okay? If above major person, they are adult offenders. Okay? The adult offenders are sent to the prison, but this juvenile delinquency are sent to the schools, reformative schools. Okay. The students of British Crown Colony of Hong Kong, as explained by Pauline V. Young, assume that the behavior of delinquents can be observed and studied by the sample process and techniques as other aspects of human behavior. They employed observational techniques, schedules and questionnaires, the interview, statistical and case study data. Here, at the time of observation techniques means to observing the juvenile delinquency of the accused person, and questionnaire, how he is involved in this crime, this type of questionnaire, and interview to the that offenders, and statistical yearly, how many offenders or each state, the social community taking a survey, okay, and also taking as case study data. These techniques are discussed in detail in the respective chapter of observation also. Observation, interview, questionnaire and case study. These are all other detailed subject also I will discuss with you. The first point of observation is, number one is observation method. What is that observation method? Here, as per the legal research, observation is a method that employs vision as its main means of data collection. It implies the use of eyes rather than of ears and the voice. Okay, it is accurate watching and noting of phenomena as they occur with regard to the cause and effect or mutual relations. It is watching behavior of other persons as it is actually happens without controlling it. And next point of this observation method is, in socio-legal research, one of the most important and extensively used methods is observation. Sorry. It is both most primitive and the most modern method of study. Okay. Generally, the observational techniques is adopted for testing hypotheses where structured methods cannot be employed. As socio-legal research deals with social behavior, the most appropriate technique is observation. In their project on juvenile delinquency in Hong Kong, the students used the technique of observation. Much can be learnt about human behavior by observation when it is planned in terms of formulated hypotheses and of the general scheme of the study. Okay, the three elements of observations are, number one is sensation, number two attention, number three is perception. Okay, and what are the characteristics of observation method? Here Black and Champion was given the following characteristic of observation method. Number one, he suggested behavior is observed. Number two, it enables understanding significant events affecting social relations of the participants, those who are participating, that events, understanding of significant that particular area. Number three, it determines reality from the perspective of observed person himself. Number four, it defines regularities and recurrence in social life by comparing data in one study with those in other studies. The fifth point, observation involves some controls pertaining to observer and to the means he uses to record data. However, such controls do not exist for setting or object population. Number six, it is focused on hypothesis free inquiry. Number seven, it avoids manipulation in the independent variable. Okay, the last one, recording is not selective. Okay, And another point of this methods, conditions of scientific observation. What are the conditions of scientific observation? As per the Galtung states that the conditions of scientific observation are reliability and intersubjectivity. Observation should advise or achieve reliability and intersubjectivity through the process of perception and recording principle of intersubjectivity, or reliability is the repeated observation of the same responses by the same observer shall yield the same data, and the principle interobjectivity is that repeated observation of the same responses by different observers shall yield the same data. Okay, this is a scientific method. And observation technique should be used to explore important events, situation, capturing human conduct as it actually happens. And observation becomes a scientific technique to extend that, number one, serves a formulation research purpose. Number two, is planned systematically. Number three, recorded systematically and related to more general propositions rather than being presented as set of interesting phenomena. And last one is subjected to checks and controls of validity and reliability. Okay, the accuracy of observation depends upon the clear formulation of the problem, separate study of each item at a time, relation of observed fact with problem, selective and objective study of the fact, and the unbiased function of the observer. What are the major steps in observation? Major steps in observation. While conducting a scientific observation, one has to follow 8 steps. Number 1, decide upon the goals of research. Number 2, decide upon group of subjects to be observed. Number 3, try to gain entry to the group. Number 4, make efforts to develop rapport with the subjects to be studied. Number 5, conduct the study by observing and recording notes. Number 6, be ready to face any crisis that may arise. Number 7, after finishing the work, seek exit from the behavioral situation. Number 8, analyze the data. And last one, write a report presenting views. Okay, these are all observational scientific method. And also aids in the field. What are the aids in the field observation? Number 1, detailed field notes will taken. When no automatic record is available, field notes should be carefully transcribed as soon as possible after observation. This is main thing. Number 2, you can take photographs. Why? Because photograph tends to present fact accurately, automatically and impartially. It has no preconceived notion and selective interest. And third point is maps. The social based maps are more highly selective than photographs. They showing the relations of topographical aspects of community to its social organization will call for further study and observation. And the next point of observation, schedules. Schedules are useful aids in standardizing the recording of observed phenomena, and they facilitate concentration, and measurement by isolating individual elements. And last one, the A is in field of observation, is sociometric scales. Here sociometric scales are regarded as tools or instruments of observation. They are used in the measurement of social attitudes, morals, status, home environment, social process of adjustment, participation, and etc. Okay, what are the advantages of observation? While you are observing all the research method, what is the use? What is the advantage? Number one, the observation is the simplest and most non-technical method. A little amount of training can make his observation perfect. Number two, observation is one of the main sources of formulation of hypothesis. Number three, observation at times affords greater accuracy than other methods. Number four, the data collected through observation give more convincing result. Number five, observation is important in testing the validity of the hypothesis framed. And next point, observation is common method for all sciences. Number seven, the observation techniques yields data that pertain directly to typical behavioral situation. And next point, the researcher is not bound by any rigid position. He can change according to the changes in the problem. Okay, and the last one, as a researcher is an active observer, he will be in a better position to classify the data. And also in observation, one can look closely and purposefully at the situation as a whole, and at the same time take note of the results without completely losing oneself with the situation. Okay, what are the disadvantages of the observation or limitation of observation? Okay, number one, very often pre-planned observation is not possible due to the nature of unpredictability of certain elements. Number two, observation data cannot be quantified. Number three, observation is not possible in the case of private, social, and legal actions. Number five, observation is limited by the duration of events. Observation gives wrong results when the investigator is biased. This is a main important thing. Okay. And another point, observation is not possible when the respondents are unwilling. If opposite person not showing that particular area is not willing to show that particular area, what will happen? You will not see the vision. You will not see the vision clearly, and you cannot able to watch. Okay. And observation is not suitable for conditions those often change abnormally. If the researcher remains aloof from the subject in order to be objective, there is danger of not understanding the meaning of what he has been observed. Okay. And another point of view, types of observation. We have 5 types of observation. Number one, uncontrolled and controlled observation. Okay. Number two, participant and non-participant observation. Number three, structured, unstructured observation. Number four, simple observation and systematic observation. Number five, intrasubjective and intersubjective observation. Okay. What is the uncontrolled observation? In uncontrolled observation, observation is made in the natural surroundings and the activities are performed in their usual course without being influenced or guided by an external force. The observer visits the place of occurrence of phenomena in order to observe. He resorts to careful scrutiny of real life situation, making no attempt to use precision instrument. Okay. And controlled observation means, in these techniques, controls are imposed on the observation or on the object. In socio-legal research, generally, the imposition of a control on the object is difficult and controls are imposed on the observer. Sometimes controls are imposed both on the phenomena and observer himself. The following are few control devices generally used in control observation. Number 1, preparation of detailed observation plan. Number 2, use of observational schedule. Number 3, use of mechanical appliance like photos, tape records. Number 4, use of hypothesis. Number 5, use of socio-metric scale. Number 6, use of team observation. Okay. Sorry. And another type, participant observation. What is that? In participant observation, the investigator actually participates in the activities of the group under investigation. In this, the researcher is free to participate as a member of a group and he is not subjected to any controls and restrictions. The researcher associates himself with the group under investigations. Okay, this is participant observation. And non-participant observation. Okay, in participant observation, I'll give you advantages of participant observation. Number 1, the group can be observer in his natural behavior. He studies the problem in real situation. He develops greater appreciation for various activities of the group. He can also check the truth of statements made by the members of the group. Okay. And disadvantage of the participant observation means the range of experience is narrower. Active participation may get him entangled in rivalry among the people. That is rivalries. Okay, rivalries among the people. In some cases, active participation is not possible. Observer may lose his impartiality and develop bias with the participation in the activities. Okay, we'll see non-participant observation. Okay, non-participant observation. This is also one of the type of observation. When the observer does not actually participate in the activities of the group but simply observe them from a distance, it is known as non-participant observation. Here, what is the advantages of the observation? Number 1, objectivity and impartiality can be maintained as the observer is unattached. The observation is devoid of personal prejudice of the observer. The researchers maintains the strange value. Okay, and disadvantage of this participant: the presence of an outsider is uncomfortable to the members of the group and their behavior may get altered during the presence of the observer. The non-participant observer is always looked with suspicion. Okay, he may not really gain insights into the phenomena. Okay, and another type of observation, structured observation. Okay, structured. What is that? This is third type of observation. Okay, structured observation and unstructured observation. Okay, under this topic, in structured observation, the units to be observed are carefully defined. Information to be collected is recorded. The sources of data is selected and the conditions of observation are standardized. It is used mostly in the studies designed to provide systematic description or to test causal hypothesis. Okay, the use of these techniques presuppose that the investigator knows what aspects of the situation under study are relevant to his research purpose and is in possession thereof to develop a specific plan for making and recording observations before he actually begins the collection of data. Okay, and unstructured observation means is exactly the opposite of structured observation in its ideal typical formulation. In this type of observation, the observer does not know in advance which aspects of the situation will prove relevant. The observer's understanding of the situation is likely to change as he proceeds. They may lead for changes in the object he observes. Such a shift is the focus point of unstructured observation. The unstructured observation is flexible. The observer is always prepared to draw his clues from unanticipated events. Okay, and another type of observation is intrasubjective and intersubjective. What is that? Intrasubjective and intersubjective method. What is that? Intrasubjective and intersubjective. Here, intrasubjective and intersubjective observation. So these are all a type of the observation. Okay, the objectivity according to Galtung, Galtung, Galtung is composite of intrasubjectivity and intersubjectivity. The test of intrasubjectivity, that is reliability, is the repeated observation of a constant phenomenon by the same observer will yield constant data, while the test of intersubjectivity consists of finding that repeated observance of a constant phenomena by different observers yield constant data. Intersubjectivity is only a more adequate formulation of what is generally meant by the objectivity in science. These methods assure the freedom from personal or cultural bias or partiality. The term intersubjectivity stresses the social nature of the scientific enterprises. If there be any truths that are accessible only to privileged individuals, such as mystics or visionaries, that is, knowledge claims which by their very nature cannot be independently checked by anyone else, then such truths be independently checked by anyone else or not kind of we seek in the sciences. Okay, the criterion of intersubjectivity testability thus delimits the scientific from non-scientific activities of man. Okay, okay students, I am closing this session because the methods or techniques of legal studies. Okay, under the heading, first point is observation method. Okay, first point is observation method, and we will discuss another point, interview, questionnaire, case studies. Okay, so I am closing this observation method. We will discuss with interview method is next video class. Okay students, take care, all the best, bye, see you.